I am live. So, hey, you're relocating to a new country, or maybe you've already moved. There's the paperwork, there's the house hunting, there's the finding schools, and somehow in all of that, some of us may often assume that our kids will just adjust. But here's the truth: many children don't get the chance to process the move, and they might not talk about it, but they're grieving. They're leaving behind friends, they're leaving behind family, they're leaving behind routines, and they're stepping into a completely unfamiliar environment. This video is about the missing conversations, what our children are really feeling when we relocate, and most importantly, what we as parents can then do to support them emotionally, not just logistically. So I'm going to be sharing a few things, whether you're about to move or whether you have already moved, or whether you've already moved. This is definitely for you. Okay, awesome. So let's talk this through. Many parents prepare for the move, but they don't actually prepare the child. And so, in a lot of the conversations I've had with children who have moved here over time, moving here wasn't a thing of discussion. They were told they were going to move, and as a child and as children, you're going to be excited about the move. That's definite. You're going to be excited about the move, but because you're not old enough to process it. But it's when it then happens, it's a big shock in your system, and then you don't know how to actually, you don't know how to navigate it. And that's why sometimes you can see that children then struggle to settle in school. They struggle to make friends. They struggle to adjust to it. And you can have a family of, let's say, for example, 4 children. 2 will adjust to it fine, and the other 2 will struggle, or one will struggle and one will adjust to it fine. So children adjust to new environments in very, very different ways. So we need to be mindful of the conversations that we need to have with that. Okay. So the gap that many parents miss is that we focus on the school, which is fine. We focus on the houses, we focus on getting the jobs, but the children actually lose their friends, they lose their familiar places, they lose cultural norms, they even lose extended family support. You see that extended family support that they get to enjoy in our native homes, they lose that when they come to this country, or when they travel, when they come abroad. And so children are rarely given enough tools. We can tell them everything about school, but then we don't think about the emotional, social, and the sometimes psychological preparation that children need. So it's really important. And I'll tell you some of the hidden fears and emotions that children have and they've shared with me over time. The fear of not fitting in, that's a big one for them. Anxiety about the new, either new language or new accent, depending on whatever it is. There's also a loss of identity that young people sometimes they can't express this type, this one, but there's a fear, there's a loss of identity or belonging that they feel when they move in. There's also the guilt and sadness of leaving family behind. So those cousins that didn't come with them, those relatives that didn't come with them. There's a feel of guilt or even sadness about it. Also, they also feel that their voices doesn't matter in these life decisions. So we've made these decisions. Mom and dad has made the decisions, but not really involved the children. And I know, yes, we come from a generation where our parents just did it, and we didn't have to talk to our kids about these big decisions. But today's generation, irrespective of where they live, will feel a sense of belonging when we include them in these big decision conversations that we have. So very important. And actually, not just the fears and the hidden emotions that children can have, but we now need to look at the hidden costs of not preparing our children. Very, very important. There's sometimes long-term emotional disconnect that could happen. There's sometimes academic struggles. Some children were doing very great in their home countries, and now that they've come here, they're not doing as great. I mean, some, not all of them. There's also a hidden cost of social withdrawal. That can really happen where they're not gelling a lot with friends, especially when they come to schools where there are not a lot of, and where I'm black. So when our children come to schools where there are not a lot of black kids, where they're the only they're the only black kids in a whole school of white kids, sometimes that can cause our children to have these social withdrawals. It's not an easy situation for them. So it's just good for parents to notice. Also, behavioral issues. Sometimes there could be behavioral issues because of their lack of awareness in how to navigate this new environment that they found themselves in. So that could happen as well. Also, sometimes difficulty in forming secure attachment. So really difficulty in securing friendship groups. Very, very difficult sometimes with some kids. And these are the hidden costs of not preparing our children socially, mentally, and psychologically for this new move. What can parents do differently? So I would break this down into what can parents do differently if it's before the move. So before the move, I would say involve your kids in these discussions and decisions. Just involve them. You're not seeking their permission, but you're involving them in the process. Also, I would say talk to them, give them the reasons why you guys are moving. It's important. Don't assume that children are too young to understand the reason. I mean, you talk to them in the age-related way that you tell them, but it's good to get them involved, no matter how young they are. Okay, no matter how young they are. Also, allow time for grieving. Your children might start acting out just before the move or just after they've moved. Allow time for grieving. That's okay for children to grieve the loss of the environment that they've just come from. It's very, very important. And then connect with them early so when you've come to the new country, or just before you've come to the new country, share with them videos of the school, videos of where you guys are going to live. We just need them to be part of the process. That helps them to adjust better when they come into the country. Okay. During the transition, then it's important to establish routines immediately. I know sometimes work can take so much from us when we just move, but that transitional time, those early stages of your transitions are so vital for our children. Putting structure into place, putting routines into place. Also, normalizing emotions. If they're feeling sad about something, listen to that sadness. Don't dismiss it. I know as adults, we will have stronger. We'll be able to cope with it in a better way, but not children. So if they come up and say, "Oh, they're sad," or they miss their friend, or they miss their cousin, validate those emotions. Flow with them as they share those emotions, because those are real. Those are very, very real. So allow grieving. And then I will say also, find peer groups. Find peer groups. Connect them if it's church or sports clubs or sports, or just connect them. Just find peers for them so that helps them in building up the friendships that they're going to need through the transition and beyond the transition. I would also say help them connect and stay connected with home. So stay in touch with their relatives at home where they can FaceTime their cousins. Those kind of things help our children adjust during the transition. So that's during the transition. Now, after the move, then keep checking with them emotionally, not just academically, not just, oh, I want to see what your score was. Oh, you scored this in maths, you scored this in it. It's good to check them academically, but also learn to check them emotionally, see how they're feeling. What are they missing about back home? All that kind of stuff. So it's so important to do that. Also, just celebrate their achievements. They make a first friend. Oh, yes, or they make the first successful day in school. Celebrate these milestones with them so that they can see that that they are part of this transition, this newness of life. So to definitely do that. Give them time. Don't rush the adjustments. Give them time. One child may adjust faster than the other child. Don't compare them. Just give them time. They will adjust as long as these preparations are put in place. Okay. And encourage expressions. If they're feeling sad about something, encourage them to write something in a journal. Encourage them to share their thoughts. Keep your home as a safe space emotionally where they can share their thoughts. They can share their frustrations without you taking it personally. So That's also very, very important. And then for parents who have already relocated, I would say it's never too late to open up that conversation. It's never too late. Reflect on, did we overlook things? What are the things that we overlooked? How can we talk through these situations with our children, explaining the reasons we moved, acknowledging to them why you know it's going to be a bit difficult for them to adjust, but that you trust that they will adjust. So you affirm them. So while you acknowledge the emotional impact that the moving has caused for them, it's also important for you to then affirm that you know that they will adjust, and affirm that you're here for them, so that whenever they're feeling sad about something, or somebody says something about them in school, they're able to share it with you without feeling what's the word? Without feeling that they're overwhelming you. Okay, so that's really very, very important. I would share that over and over again. I think that that is so important. So if this spoke to you, if what I've shared spoke to you, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, because this is a topic I've been meaning to share in such a while, and I do apologize that I haven't shared it, but this evening I thought definitely I'm going to share it as it comes, and at least I know it's going to help parents out there, whether you're about to move or whether you've actually moved and relocated already. So, what has helped, and what would you do differently? What would you do differently now from hearing what I've shared in this video? Drop a comment below, and let's open up a conversation. I really do want to. I really want this conversation to help other parents who are planning to move, so that they're not just thinking about the academics part, they're thinking of the mental, the social, and the psychological changes that their children also would face with relocation. So if you found this helpful, give it a like, share it with someone who's planning to move, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be sharing more videos on parenting through these big life transitions, and also do some videos as well for young people as a teens coach that I am. So thanks for watching, everyone, and most importantly, be gentle with yourselves and with your children, and remember, we're all in this journey together. I'm rooting for you all the way. Take care. God bless. Now it's time for me to shut my light down.